What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be playing around with a title called To Kill a God. We covered this about 8 months to a year ago, and the game has a new demo out that's ready for us to take a look at. The last time I played this game, I was really impressed by the creativity of it. This is a game that seeks to merge something like a horde survival game with Path of Exile, actually, with an infinite sort of procedural tree that you use in order to grab passes, build a character, and ultimately become super overpowered. The reason why we're covering this demo, normally I don't recover demos when they release new iterations, but this one's got a new character that we can play around with, and it's like a paladin style character, and I just couldn't keep myself away, because you guys know me. I'm the guy in every D&D campaign playing a lawful stupid paladin, or like a lawful good ranger, or something like that. I just can't help myself. I can't keep my hand out of the good guy goodie jar. So we're going to play this demo for about 30 minutes. It is publicly available. You can go get it at the link that I've got for you down below. But let's not waste any more time. Let's dive on into it. So right now, there's two characters that we can pick between. You've got Gassan and you've got Morwenna. I actually think Gassan is a much better character. Morwenna is kind of like in her early iterations right now. And so she feels a little bit clunky compared to him, but we're going to be playing her here today. I've played probably 2 or 3 runs prior to the recording of this video, just to like reacclimate myself with how the systems work, but let's get to it. So welcome to the hub. This is where you're going to start out every single run, and I'm guessing from the spacious nature of it, they're going to have a lot more vendors and things for you to interact with once the game actually gets into its 1.0 or its early access. For right now, we just have this guy we can interact with. I don't think the demo saves as it stands right now, because I did have a bunch of these passives unlocked from like the 3 runs that I did prior, so don't get too invested in your playthrough, because mine doesn't seem to have saved, and so I had stuff unlocked there, but I don't have stuff unlocked now, so I'm guessing the demo is just like play till you turn the game off. Let's go ahead and we will start a run, and at the beginning of the game, this is the game. They've actually turned the Path of Exile skill tree into a game map. So the basic way that this game works is that you pick a node, you fight enemies on that node. Every node will give you a piece of equipment, and it'll give you a side bonus, like 10% to your attack power, or like plus 10 armor, or 5% movement speed, that kind of stuff. But every enemy that you fight from then on also gets a little bit of a buff. For now, we just kind of need to pick our starting ability. I kind of like Blade Dance. It's the only one with her that I felt like feels very smooth and fluid. Like, logically, for the passives that I want, the smart thing to do would be to start over here on Ice Bite and then move over to here. But unfortunately, a lot of the attacks for Morwenna have like a long wind-up time, which just fundamentally does not work for an action RPG style gameplay. And so until they make these instant, like the second you click the mouse, the attack goes off and you can like spam it action RPG style, unfortunately, I won't be taking a lot of those abilities because they just don't feel good to use. But this one feels pretty good. It's a channeled ability if you've used a Blade Dance Rogue in Diablo 4. Very, very similar. It's kind of a dancing attack that moves you forward and hits everything in an AoE around you. So it'll work for right now. The downside is all of the nodes over here are kind of garbage. We've only got like light passive nodes and crafting nodes, which is kind of unfortunate, but we'll figure it out as we go. Let's go get Blade Dance. So enemies in this room will have more damage against frozen enemies. They get a whole bunch of bonuses, all right? They're going to be breathing down our necks. But let's get to our first arena. So here we are with Morwenna. Game very simple right now, kind of like the first level in an action RPG. Kill a couple enemies, get a couple levels, and all you really have is auto attack. But that just changed because we now have Blade Dance, which is going to be nice. We do have a character panel over here. It will give you very, very detailed stats about all the things that your character is capable and incapable of doing. But one important thing to know about this is that like every time you complete a level, you get XP. And so you're going to get points that you can apply to your main attributes in order to get a little bit stronger. For right now, we only have 5, so I'm going to wait until I have an item that I can't use yet that I'm really passionate about and then apply them such that I meet the standards for that item. I'm going to start making my way over towards some of these offensive nodes because we've got a really nice cluster right here. Like a really, really good cluster. I think it'll probably be better to go out this way, grab these, then come up over here and then grab these. There's an event over there, but I'm pretty sure those are bugged right now from the forums, what the forums are saying. We can get knocked back over there. Actually, let me just kind of take a look and see where things are at on the grid. Okay, we're going to keep moving up in this direction because I want to grab that utility node as well. Now, every time we take a node, the boss gets a little bit closer. The boss is absolutely gnashing his teeth, ready to smash our face in. And so we need to get strong as possible before the god shows up, hence the name To Kill a God. We've only got 3 enemies on this map, so it should be a pretty easy fight, but don't let that fool you. This game amps up pretty quickly once you've done like 6 or 7 nodes. With regards to the UI as it goes right now, I played around with a couple different resolutions, and it looks like the little buttons, I don't know, they got kind of pixely and whatnot. They started looking wonky in other resolutions, and these numbers are all like way too small for your eyeball to see without like straining at them. They're gonna need to add a slider in the settings that allows you to up the UI scale. We've got a Shadow Ember over here, which is an exotic relic. 100% chance of casting Summon Shadow Archer when you dash. Could be pretty useful. We're going to need a lot of dexterity to make it work, though, and we're not really a dexterity-style character. We can re-roll this stuff if we don't like the bonuses that we got. I will take the Ember with an eye on the future, and then I'm going to take let's take a 3% increase to our strength, I suppose. This is just a lesser node, so, like, the bonus we get out of it is going to be very small by comparison to, like, the larger nodes that have, like, a much larger footprint on the map. And speaking of the map, I actually think that the map needs to be restructured. So the map is completely and totally randomized right now, which means that you can get like utterly, ridiculously, absurdly good grids, and then you can get grids that are just almost entirely travel nodes where you're trying to get from place to place. I actually think they need to restructure it and kind of like hand tailor the proceduralism of it a little bit. Just to kind of bring it in line like in Path of Exile. If you think about the Path of Exile skill tree, in Path of Exile, ooh, I don't want any of this stuff. This is all bad. I feel, okay, I guess I'll take the increased mana for Blade Dancing, which I haven't been doing anyways. But when you think about the Path of Exile skill tree, the Path of Exile skill tree is actually pretty well designed. It goes kind of patch to patch as they move things around, but each area of the tree kind of has like its own thing that it does. So there's kind of like the strength area, there's kind of like the agility area, there's kind of like the dexterity, intelligence area, the constitution area. I think the map needs to do that. It needs to be divided into pie slices where a lot of things that spawn in that area have a similar attribute motif, basically. So one slice of the pie will be a lot of strength-related stuff, and there will be other nodes in there that are randomized in that kind of do strength-adjacent things that allow you to cross on over. And then at that point, all they need to do is occasionally cause enemies to drop an item that allows you to teleport in between nodes and activate one that you're not attached to inside of a ring. And I feel like they'd probably actually be able to make something much more elegant than just pure proceduralism. So we've got a sword right here that will increase our DPS, and it gives us weapon crit chance and a chance to burn when dealing fire damage, but it's got increased projectile speed, which kind of sucks for us because we're not a projectile character. So I think I'll probably just take the boots. Let's re-roll it and see what happens. We've got a silver belt. It gives us 4% crit and 4% HP. I'll take that. We are going to need more accuracy because for whatever reason this game wants you to hit cap. I would recommend removing that entirely. I don't think there's ever a gamer in the history of MMOs or in action RPGs that finds hit capping your character to be like engaging gameplay. It basically means that you've got to take a piece of gear on a spot that you don't want to take in order to make your build effective. Like, you've created like a carry slot. I speak from experience on this one because I play World of Warcraft Classic pretty religiously. I play an elemental shaman, and so I had to hit cap him. And like, I just hate the fact that there's a bunch of things on my character that are only there to fulfill like a prerequisite for being able to raid, basically. It's almost like I've got to punch my ticket by getting rid of stuff that's actually useful to put that in there just so I can attend a raid. And so I am very, very passionate that like hit raiding should not exist in any game ever. Just let the player hit, let them have fun with it, especially with this game since it's got a little bit of a Dark Souls vibe to it where it's about position and it's about dodging and it's about hitting. Just let the player hit. Having enemies repeatedly be like miss, 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 miss while you're swinging at them, and having to like sacrifice stats that are fun and engaging to get a sleeper stat like hit is one of those things I feel very passionately about with RPG design. We can get 25% increased evasion right here, and then it'll convert all of our evasion into armor, but we no longer evade. Or we can take 25% fire resistance and 10% armor. I'm going to take the fire resistance because there are a couple. This game has elites, just like Diablo 3 has, where they have different affixes on them, and some of them have like fireballs that swirl around them like a shield. And as a melee character, getting through that to actually hit them can be kind of devastating. It can hurt a lot. Let's take, oh, there's a merchant right here. I don't want to go to the merchant yet, so I think we're going to have to go around the horn to get to that offensive passive right there, I think. Like, I am going to go to the merchant at some point, but for right now, the way that it works is if I go here, it locks off the node even if I don't use it, even if I just look at it. I think they should change that, definitely, where these nodes right here should have like a number above them or like a gem above them. And if you haven't interacted, so if you can defeat the node in order to get passage to the next area, but as long as you don't buy or sell anything, or you don't craft anything on one of the crafting nodes, it should have a little charge above it that allows you to come back later and utilize it. That'd be really, really nice for quality of life. Let's just keep chugging through some of these passives down here, and we'll go around the horn and save the merchant for later once we're in a better position. I also need to put Blade Dance on my right click. There we go. Just slice these guys up. I think the thing that really stands out about this game is just like the visual clarity of the pixel art and like the gore and bloodshed. It's such a good looking game while you're finishing off all these enemies. Like, killing things has a real sense of impact and like a real sense of violence to it. Do I have a chest piece yet? I do have a chest piece. I don't have a helmet. Let me re-roll it though. Maybe we'll get something a little bit more active. I don't have any boots on either. I think I have a belt already, right? That crit belt? Yeah. So let's take the boots because they give me 4% movement speed and a little bit of extra mana. I'm going to re-roll this real fast, and I'm going to increase my strength by 3%. That way I'm building in a direction that sort of like benefits a warrior. Let's get you. Am I getting ice damage on my attacks right now? Why does it look like the enemy's freezing? Huh. A little bit of Blade Dance right there. Took a little bit of a hit, but it shouldn't be too bad. I need to get Restores Mana on hit as either like a gem or as like a passive. That's the one thing that we're going to need. Those little shards you see me grabbing, those are crafting shards. You use them for various crafting nodes that are all over the map. We've got a better health flask right here. How is my health flask? So 50 health, more evasion during the flask effect, 12% of physical damage gained is cold damage during flask effect. Interesting. Let's take this one because it's better than what we have, and then I'm going to take the 5% increased physical damage. And then we're going to come over to here, grab this one. I forgot to slot in my health potion, so... Oh, never mind. I can have multiple health potions down here. Good stuff. All right. I'm probably actually just going to replace most of these with things that... Oh, my God. My man's throwing liquor at me. My man's got a hooch, and he's ready to deploy it. Some strength shards over here. This game does have essences and things just like you would have in Diablo or just like you would have in Path of Exile that allow you to modify items and change their stats. Oh, hello, Flamebearer. Attack, fire, damage. Level 4, 15 dex, 30 strength. Okay, I'm taking the legendary fire sword. What's more fantasy than a legendary flaming fire sword? That's one of those default things from every RPG that if you don't have it and you don't equip it, man, what are you doing with your life? Let's spend some stats. I'm going to take this up to 15 real quick just so I have more mana for when I'm blade dancing. We'll put that in right there. It's got 27 DPS. How many points do I have remaining? I've got 22 points remaining. So with 22 points remaining, I'm going to even that out at 20. With 17 left, I'm going to go 3-2 split on Dex versus, oops, just put that in and then I'll do the other 6. There we go. Perfect. That'll work out. And then we need to get this offensive node right here. Hopefully we get some banger fire damage out of it. Yeah, we hitting harder now, boy. We hitting way harder. I need some movement speed too, so we're going to have to hit like a utility. Are things exploding right now? What's the explosion? Oh, that's got to be a legendary effect. Okay. All right, all right, all right. I'm digging it. I am the legendary flame warrior. You will see me flaming in the darkness. Let's go over here. We've got a soldier's helmet, and I don't have a helmet yet. I can't wear it for another level or two, but it does give me more evasion. It gives me negation to burn. There's a universal resistance ring over here that I actually feel is kind of a good idea. Let's re-roll this. And so we can get 30% attack speed, 25% melee attack damage, cold damage, or we can get 30% accuracy and 30% damage. I like the attack speed, but this right here kind of guarantees our ability to hit enemies for a long time into the future, so I'm gonna take it. Now, at this point, I feel like it'd be a smart idea to sort of like branch off and go do something else. This is a long leap over here, so I'm going to take this one. I'm going to grab the duplicate of the ability that we already have, because I'm pretty sure you can combine abilities in order to like boost them up and make better versions of them. I need you to die. That's what I need you to do. My movement speed is absolutely atrocious right now. Hopefully we pick up some boots that have got like 20% movement speed on them, because projectiles are very unforgiving in this game until you get up to like 30 or 40% movement speed. And then you don't even need to dodge anymore. You just kind of like run around everything. Let's go with, that's 13% movement speed right there. I'm not really stationary altogether that often. I'll take it. Let's get 5% attack speed. Actually, let's go fishing. 5% increased fire damage. There we go. I'll take that. I want this. So we'll go blade dance these guys down real fast to get ourselves a skill copy. And then I think we can go to a skill combiner and we can upgrade our blade dance. A Baronal Ember. Okay. I just want your loot. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm out here cleaving demons purely for the love of the game. That's all that I'm doing right now. There are some UI bugs. I'll show you one of them. You see me mousing over these duplicate abilities that are slotted in. Every time I swap between, it just keeps adding the DPS together. And you'll actually find a lot of sloppy work like that all over the game. There's a number of places that I've seen where the text gets cut off by improper scaling and things of that nature. Lots and lots of tech debt in this game that needs to be sorted out before I think that they're going to be able to really released to standing ovations. Right now they've got a thing going on where the reviews are actually pretty negative for this game right now, but all of the forum posts are very, very positive about the game as of right now, so I don't know what's going on there. I think the demo's in a solid enough spot. There's just a lot of reconfiguration they need to do for like the skill tree, and also just a lot of technical bugs and limitations that need to be fiddled with too. I got him, but at what cost? I took a little... Am I draining health right now? What's draining health? I've got overcharged HP that's up at like 727, even though my HP cap is 436. I'm gonna have to investigate that too. Apparently, I've been doing a really bad job keeping track of what I've got going on. I'm gonna re-roll those just to see what we get around. I don't really need a poison ring. I'm not crazy stoked about a poison ring or any of that. So maybe we'll just save it for the vendor. And then I'll take 3% increased movement speed because I need to start getting on that. Where was that utility node at that I was eyeballing? Over here? Utility nodes give you movement speed, and I'm hoping I fish out the 15 or 20% movement speed enhancement from that one. Get him real fast. Get all of you guys real quick. Oh, we've got our first sniper. That's fun. Sniper, no sniping. And I don't necessarily have the movement speed to get away from the sniper's shot right now. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to eat a hit just to sort of aggressively take down all the snipers to clear out the rest of the field for being cleaved in half. This one, wow, 24% increased bonuses from strength, dexterity, and intelligence. Not awful. I'll grab it. What do I have on for a belt right now anyways? The crit one? Yeah. And then down here, I will take increased attack speed real quick. Let's keep cruising because that boss is coming. He's probably going to stomp me out something ugly too. I get a health back every time I hit a guy, and my health bonus stays with me in between fights. So I sort of feel like I can afford to be a little bit aggressive right now. The bonus is coming from my sword, by the way. This legendary sword not only is lighting enemies on fire, spreading fire all over the place, causing explosions, but it's also feeding me health every single time that it does it. So kind of a dope acquisition, if we're being honest right now. Avoid being poisoned, avoid being burned, and 12% attack damage. I'll take that. I don't have anything in the slot anyways. And then we'll take higher critical hit chance too. That sounds nice. Let me slot something. Do I have anything I can slot real fast? Reforge an item as a legendary with this. Let's try. We've got legendary boots now, and it's giving us Movement speed, mana, and a lot of resistances, which is probably good. We've got universal resist on there, which is kind of one of those things you're always hungry for in action RPGs. This will also take a rare item to a legendary. Let's go ahead and do that too. There we go. And so now we've got chance. We've got 9% increased maximum health. That's nice. I'll take that. That's definitely something workable. Now let's go grab this passive over here and hope to God that it gives us movement speed. Because if it don't, I think we've got a lot of heartbreak coming in the future. Got you. I'll probably, if these guys clump up, I'll probably just blade dance my way through them. That's easy enough. Movement speed would help out with kind of like propagating the hits from our blade dance as well. Like, that would probably be nice. I'm gonna reroll all of this up here. Bows should not, so this game drops items for your character that they can't like really use, like bows and things like that. So bow characters should not be having sword drops. All the sword drops should be converted into bows, so on and so forth for all the character classes. 21% increased physical damage, chance to burn when dealing fire damage. Oh, that goes with our build better. I'll take it. And then we did get 25% movement speed. I got exactly what I wanted. I need 2 more levels before I can use that belt and slap it on. Sorry, Knower's belt. I like your bonus. Your bonus is pretty sick. Like, where are my resistances at right now? See what I mean? There's a little bit of text gore right there, too. That kind of stuff pops up all over the game, and they just absolutely have to get on top of that kind of stuff. This stuff right here is, like, game-killing stuff. It's just basic text listing things that need to be fixed. I don't think I have any runes or anything that I can put on my skills right now. So let's keep plugging forward. This might be bugged. You reach a raided campsite. A large tent rests beneath a large oak tree. One of its canvas walls broken and flapping in the wind. The campfire is cold. Its ashes spread around by several boots, and cooking utensils litter its surroundings. As you make your approach, you spot the camp's former owner struck down by arrows. A large man, blonde of hair with a long beard, wearing fur pelts, which you identify as the unusual garb of a northerner. In his hand, he holds open a book. You pick it up and read it, realizing it's a travel diary. This person's final words were scribbled frantically on the current page. You recognize that this is a line from a traditional warrior's chant. It's clear to you that he used his dying breath to write his word, hoping someone would know that chant and know the proper burial rites would be. Okay, I guess I'll grant his wish. Trying your best to recall the departure ritual of the clan, you take down the tent, lay it flat over the remains of the campfire, and collect every piece of broken wood. You chant as you solemnly light your torch and cross his arms over his chest, so on and so forth. These are a little verbose. Like, they feel like they're coming from the Department of Redundancy department, where you could condense this and express the exact same thought very, very easily. Hopefully we get some kind of reward out of it. I don't know. Did we get anything? I don't know. It says we got an elite reward, but I don't see anything. That might be the bug that people were talking about on the forums. I have 20 points right now. I should probably do something with that. Let's go like 15 points into strength, and then we'll go like 6 points into dexterity, because that's our attack speed and crit and whatnot. And as a melee character, we do want to stack that stuff up carefully. We've got a skilled knockback right there. Another offensive passive right here that I think I'll grab while I'm just like in the neighborhood. It's also saying I have 20 points available, even though I just spent them, so lots of little sloppy things around. You know, let's go to the merchant and see what's up. Let's hit the merchant up. So, like, the merchant just uses our gems. Okay, the merchant uses our gems as a currency. Gives me 3 green for that. I would love to put that in my relic slot so that whenever I dash, I get that shadow archer. So maybe I'll hold on to it, but the knower's belt can go. The Ring of Poison we're not quite strapped up for, so I'll get rid of it. And then Battle Remnant doesn't do anything, as I can tell right now. I actually don't know what a Battle Remnant does. It doesn't have a description yet. This right here rerolls the values for all modifiers on an item, though, which might be helpful. I don't know, so if I hold down a key, does it tell me the minimum and the maximum thresholds for all these? Maybe I can do it on a different menu, not here. What do we have going on in here? Increased fire damage enhancement. Okay, yeah, I'll take one of those for sure. We've got another skill enhancement right here. Trigger on critical damage enhancement. I don't know exactly what that means. Like, I get what it's trying to express, like when we crit, something triggers. But maybe it's something that we, like, link to it, like the increased fire damage maybe or something like that. I don't know. I'll take it just in case. Maybe there's other ones that are like procs, basically, where they have like a chance to happen and you need to have this next to it to guarantee it on a crit. That's kind of where my brain's going with it. What's this ring over here that they've got? Lots of resistances, extra damage. I'll take that. And then this guy over here. I'm losing crit, but I'm getting a lot more resistance, so I think that'll work. I guess I could take the other merchant over here, too, and just see what he's got. What do you have, other merchant? Increased lightning damage. Don't really need that. Fierce projectile. Has increased projectile speed and damage, but decreased attack speed. Not helpful for me right now. Not the sort of thing that's going to make me function better. Doesn't look like he really has anything that I'm interested in. Yeah, you can't go back to him either. All right. Let's go, and what's looking dope right now? I guess I kind of got to make my way towards the boss. So I'll start doing that. Oh, my character feels so much better now with increased run speed, dude. So much. Oh my god. All right, big dog, let's fight. You want to fight? Let's scrap. Let's do this thing. Got you. I'm just going to take the damage right there. Got him. One arrow flying towards me. Cool. I'm glad that all the shards fly towards the portal at the end of the round. That's a good thing. Ooh, Dawnbreaker's Embrace. I need 80 dexterity to make that work. And it looks like it's for a bleed build, so maybe not. Trigger on dash. Oh, maybe, so the skill that this is on goes, okay, this one's more descriptive. So trigger on crit means that every time we crit, that skill will automatically cast itself. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't have a helmet, so maybe I'll just helmet up on this one. That gives me more armor and some poison resistance. I'll take it. Let me get some increased physical damage right there. And then use my points. How much strength did I need for that? Oh, I just needed more levels, so it doesn't matter. Okay, let's go down here, and we'll keep on fighting. But I guess I'll do my closing thoughts here since the video is getting a little bit long, and I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. I think I covered most of the things that bothered me with this current iteration of the demo, but let's just reiterate for brevity and the people who like to skip to the end of the video and just get my closing thoughts, because I know you guys are lurking out there. I think To Kill a God is one of the most interesting, unique, and compelling roguelike ideas coming out on Steam today. The problem is that the execution in its current form needs a lot of refinement and a lot of polishing and bug fixing to truly get this idea to take flight and dominate the sales charts. Things like the UI not scaling properly. Things like text getting cropped due to a lack of space inside their stat lists once you get to certain like 4-figure numbers. Very random groupings of skills and nodes with no particular theme, focus, or atmosphere in their little areas. I think the game would be much better if you knew what was vaguely going to be in every direction around you, just sort of on impulse after you had played for a while. And then there was traversal mechanics to get in between those different wedges and things of that nature. The UI itself, even when properly scaled, I thought that the UI felt really cheap and kind of lacks weight. It almost feels like they painted over just default Unity or like default, you know, C# menus. These all need to be seen to make the game feel good to play. The good news here is that this is a really, really genius level idea, converting the Path of Exile skill tree into a game map that acts as the catalyst for player advancement. Their pixel art is razor sharp. It looks fantastic. It really, truly is top tier. Their combat gameplay feels really good. It feels especially good once you've got a solid 20% movement speed added onto whatever character you're playing. It almost achieves like a hyperlight drifter level of sort of smoothness. So there are a lot of good things to this title on the core basic level that unfortunately have a lot of clerical polished things on top that need to be refined, figured out, and ultimately brought to the best form that they can possibly achieve before I consider this a product ready for a 1.0 market. Hopefully it gets those things without too much struggle, because I have really high hopes for this one. I think the game is rad. Unfortunately, my high hopes are not enough to ignore the bevy of things that need to be tightened up pretty aggressively before it's going to be ready to be sold for money. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were playing To Kill a God. Tomorrow we'll play something else. Thanks for hanging out with me, and that's all I got for you, folks. Bye.